Mr. Joe.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Good to be here this Thursday morning, 7:30, as we always do. 7:30 Eastern, as we always do on Proper Cup of Joe.
That's
I'm
right.
Joe.
I'm Adam. I'm working a little harder than you because it's 6:30 here, man.
Working a little harder. That's good. Do you think there is something that is inherently better about hard work?
Wow, that I didn't know you were throwing that at me this morning, huh? Yeah, to a point. But then, like one of my favorite expressions when I was in the restaurant and in management, oftentimes I would say to my team, "This isn't the gym. It doesn't have to hurt. Like we could do this a different. Like we don't have to work until it hurts. We could do this a different way." And like I meant that like literal hurt, but I also meant it like we don't have to find the most difficult way to do this. Like that's not necessary. So I value hard work. I don't think that punishing yourself for the sake of punishing yourself outside of perhaps a gym setting or working into shape. Sometimes you have to, on like even playing guitar, like I got to get my calluses worked back up if I have a big show coming up or something, but generally no.
Generally, no. Okay. All right.
I value it. I respect it, but I don't think it's like,
yes. Yeah.
I'm not going to be the guy out in the front digging a ditch, refilling the ditch, redigging it again, just to prove to people how hard I work and how much I suffer. Like I don't know. Yeah.
Like, yes. So like, okay, let's say you're hiring somebody and somebody says, "Oh yeah, he's a hard worker," or "She's a hard worker." Does that do anything for you?
Oh, big time. I do. That does do something for me.
That does do something for you. Yeah.
I mean, and my line of work, that's weird to say. I've never said it that way. My line of work and all of my lines of work have required a pretty good work ethic. I mean, carrying trays of food and people's dirty dishes and then washing their dirty dishes, that takes a little bit of a hard work mindset.
Okay.
Or cleaning rodent poo, that's hard work.
I guess, yeah. I guess that's, I guess that's how you define your terms, though, like hard worker or not. Well, how would you define a hard worker or hard work as opposed to, is it long hours? Is it tough work? Is it the kind of work that you do? I'm just talking mental. Is it mental capacity? Is it physical?
Well, I'm a product of my own environment. So yeah, can you stand on your feet for 8 hours with relatively little break? And you're going to be lifting up to, 50, 80 pounds pretty regularly.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm throwing this out there a little too early in this session.
What are you saying? I haven't woken up yet? Like I'm not thinking with a clear head?
Like I think I work hard. I think I make sure that I don't work long hours. And I work the average 40, 50 a week, but since, I don't know, maybe I turned 40, I'm working. I work more towards not working. I'm trying to figure out ways to work less and have a more flexible life.
No, I think
and part of that is trying to find the work that doesn't seem like work. So I think probably in the last few weeks, I'm actually working more, but I'm working in a different way on the things that I like. And so it doesn't feel like hard work.
That's the magic. That's the unicorn. That's the special sauce right there.
Yeah.
Man. So a couple thoughts. Yeah. Hard work comes in many different varieties. In the context of restaurants or rodents, it's hard physical work sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not to say working hard on digital projects remotely from an office is also not hard work. It's different hard work. But yeah, when I hear somebody go, "Oh, he's a hard worker," I think of the context that I've had to hire in for the past 30 years. And then to your point, and I guess it's attributed to Mark Twain, but I don't know if he actually said it or not. I never heard it out of his mouth, but the old make your vocation your vacation, and you'll never work a day in your life again.
Yeah.
And I do not see this as a vacation whatsoever, but the underlying theme of if you do what you really enjoy, and now you're finding that yourself, you're probably going to feel like you're not working when you're actually cranking out a hell of a lot of work,
Right. Like I find that I work harder on the weekends on like this shed and doing the lawn and doing the thing, doing this project on my house, that project. I'm like, the end of the weekend, I'm like, gosh, it was a hard working weekend. But then I do these other things that I'm starting to do, and I'm like, it's good. It's not that hard.
See, I'm the opposite. On the weekends, or when I do get a day off, man, I relax, man. I don't, and I hate to admit it, I don't do house projects very well. There's been a replacement faucet sitting on the counter for 9 months, and every few months Kelly's like, you think you could do the plumbing on that soon? I'm like, yep, I would. Yes, baby. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the show. This is the kind of stuff we talk about here on Proper Cup of Joe.
That's right.
Because I've got a lot of questions, and I just asked them of Adam as a business person and as a snake breeder and handler.
Yeah. And Joe doesn't breed or handle any snakes.
No, I don't do that.
Armadillos, check. Possums, Joe will handle. Yeah, no problem. Snakes, not going to happen.
So you had a pretty productive week, didn't you?
Highly productive. International, might I say. I got to go to Toronto. Shout out to Chris Eaton. He was in here earlier. He's probably already been like, I've had enough of these two. Yeah, we went to Toronto. We took a live podcasting show on the road. Saturday and Sunday, we broadcast live from the CRBE, the Canadian Reptile Breeders Expo. Yo, 338,000 square feet of pet show.
Wow.
It's huge, man. Unbelievably huge.
That's incredible. Like how many, and then it's just all filled with vendors, or?
Yeah, it was like, like the shows like Daytona that you've been to. It was all filled with vendors. Now the reptile portion was 145,000 square feet. And then there were birds, fish, cats, dogs. Outside they had a water dog. Do you remember we talked about this? Did you know that poodle comes from the German word for puddle, to play in?
Yes.
Such puddles. I don't know if that's true. I learned it on the show. But yeah, the jumping dock dogs and all of that. So it was really great. But speaking of hard work, that could have been described as hard work. I told a few people, I was like, yeah, we're going to be like podcasting for like 8 hours straight. And they're like, that sounds like an awful thing to have to commit to. And yeah, it was work. And, Chris was, he did a custom, I don't think we ended up using any of them. He used them for promotion, but not for in the day of. But he did a custom intro for every person that had committed to being one of the guests.
Wow.
We haven't done a custom intro. Well, we did it once, and that's still what we use 2 years later. So that's hard work as well.
It's a pretty damn good intro, I would say.
I like it. I thought the tortoise was tied a lot together. Yeah, it was good. We got probably out of our usual elements just a little bit. And, that was actually the first time we've ever met each other in person, and certainly the longest that we've worked together straight ahead. So it ended up really good. There was a lot of risk there, especially on Chris's end. For me, there wasn't much risk because it was all branded under the Fat Man Nation. So I could either amplify it if it went well, or be like, yep, that was Chris there. No, it went excellent, and I was really happy to. And no, nothing firm or anything to announce, but I think you'll see us take that show on the road a little more regularly in the future, which will be fun.
That's awesome, because And it's funny. I mean, both you and Chris have a different brand when you present to
Right.
the public.
That's true.
So it really is a good connection, a good vibe, like a good. You really complement each other well. So I thought it was awesome. It's great.
Thanks so much. Did you tune in and check some of it out, man?
A little bit
Yeah.
here
All right.
and there.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Then
we were joking all weekend. Then there was the show behind the show, which is just a blast. Bunch of guys from New York came up with Chris. There was Paul from Large Marge Morphs. There was Kevin from Sugar Skull, and then Sammy from Bull Pythons, man. And these guys were great. They helped us load in. They helped wrangle all the guests. We didn't have to leave the booth not one time to go track somebody down. So it allowed us just to keep going straight ahead, which was really fantastic. But then behind the scenes, there's all this shenanigans, man. Like some people drank, some people didn't, some people had other forms of medical entertainment, and other people didn't. Just getting when you travel, it almost felt like a really short like music tour, because you're all in the same ride. You're trying to get 6 people, like just leaving somewhere takes, some sort of manager, a logistics planner to get
right.
out the door. But it went really, really well. And then, so that was cool. And then my one thing that I don't know if the other guys, the last night, I think it was the last night. Anyway, we went out for dinner and we didn't have to work the next day, but all we had to do was travel the next day. So I kind of cut loose. I had maybe an extra beverage or two, and we had these nice steaks and we all hung out. And actually they were only, I got to say, one thing I don't like, hotel restaurants live in the mindset that nobody's ever they don't have to build a regular clientele. You're only at a hotel restaurant for so long, right?
Okay, yeah.
And I think their quality really, we didn't have a good steak dinner in Canada. We tried 2 nights and we spent good Canadian money too. Like we spent a lot of money on these steaks. I was just Toronto, you owe us around the steaks, man. But otherwise it was fantastic. So we get here's my one thing. So we get back to the hotel. It's fairly late. I'm feeling good. A few of the other guys are feeling good. I walk into the lobby and this guy approaches me and gets actually kind of, like we all have our personal space. He gets pretty close.
Okay.
And I'm doing this like quick analysis. How hammered is this guy? Is this guy a threat? Do I need to talk to the New York City guys with me? Is this going to be fun? Maybe this is going to be a good time. I don't know what's going to happen. And he holds
you are always in that state when you are in a bar.
Right. You're doing the calculations. But we're back in the lobby. This is back into the hotel. And this guy holds up like a postcard. It's like a Canadian postcard. And I can't recite everything he says, but he says the words, "Look at this photograph." And then he starts saying all this gibberish.
Okay.
And I'm like, what is going on? And he's like looking at me, and I'm still doing
gibberish, like actual gibberish, or
he keeps saying, I mean, they're words, but he keeps saying, oh yeah, I did get yelled at, but I did find an angry Canadian too. Man, I got told right off. But that's a different story. So this guy, he says, look at this photograph. And then he starts saying these things that seem incoherent to me, but they're in English. Yeah. And I realize for some reason he's speaking in nothing but Nickelback lyrics to me. Look at this photograph. And I'm like, get the hell out of here. And he's like swaying. I mean, he is done. And like he starts, and then like he sees that I'm like a little bit annoyed, and he falters. It's like, man, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. And like he sees the crew around. And then I leaned in and I said, we all just want to be big rock stars. And I walked off, and he's like, oh, like he's loving it. The most stupid Canadian serendipity. The situation was stupid. Canadians aren't stupid. That guy might be, but the situation was the stupidest thing. And then he was like, "Yeah!" Like I like made his night, and then I think he fell over or something. Like he was toast.
Were
man.
you really annoyed? I mean, were you really annoyed, or were you like, "Oh, now I get this guy"? He's
In 6 seconds, I went from, "Is he going to attack me? What is in my face? What is he saying? He's not going to attack me. Now he's apologizing. Oh, he's speaking Nickelback."
He's speaking Nickelback.
And then I hit him with one line and walked out.
You knew a little Nickelback. You knew enough Nickelback to respond.
Yeah, I just was like,
that's pretty good.
We all just want to be big rock stars. And I walked, and he was like, "Yes!" Like he was so excited.
Who yelled at you during the show?
I don't know. This dude, he was, I say little, he factually was shorter than me. And he, yeah, what I say is a little dude, like factually, he was a little smaller than me. I don't mean it in a demeaning way. He just structurally, anyway, he was
smaller than you.
This is what I feel bad because, well, yeah. All right. So I was taking a break. Like we would, you got to use the restroom sometimes. You got to get a little coffee. So there was somebody doing a segment with Chris, and I just stepped away. And this guy, and we had a little merch table, which is kind of cool. So I was over at the merch table, and this guy comes up, and he's like, "None of us can hear you." And I was like, yeah, I understand that. It's on a podcast. And he's like, "Where can I hear this?" I was like, "YouTube." And he was like, "It'd be really nice if you were considerate to the people here and we could hear you. You could broadcast, PA kind of thing." And and that wasn't completely unreasonable. And I was like, yeah, this is the first time doing it, but also we were hired to do a very specific thing. This was very specifically to reach people in a wide range out on the internet. And I said, "You could tune in on YouTube." And he was like, "You know what? Not everybody has YouTube. And, when you talk in person to somebody, you could tell if they're lying." And he was like, "So many people lie on the internet." And I was like, "Well, we're here in person if that makes you feel any better. We're telling the truth." And he was like, "No, you know what? I bought a tortoise one time, and they told me it was a female and it was a male. And he lied to me. What do you have to say about that?" And I was like, what? I was like, "I didn't sell you that tortoise." And he's like, "Yeah, well, people lie. That's what I'm telling you." And I was like, I right. Okay. And he just kept going. And he was like, and I said something like, people hearing, like forced to hear me and Chris, chat all day might not be the atmosphere. And he was like, he said the words, he's like, don't give me that excuse. I don't want to hear that." And I was like, I go, "Sir, thanks. I've heard your opinion. I've shared mine. We've had a good conversation." And I just walked away.
Was this also near the bar? And how?
No, this was midday in a reptile show. This was maybe bordering on morning. I'm not sure.
What is the there are some people now, was this person? There are some people who just like to argue, right? There are some people who just want to find things to be angry about. Was this guy one of those types of people, or do you think he really had a legitimate thing to be angry about?
No, he was. I don't know why he was. I mean, he was looking. I mean, my favorite sort of comedy is when I go to myself, "Is this person screwing with me?" Or maybe a different word. And for like 90% of the conversation with this guy, I was like, "Is this for real?" And he was just this angry dude. And like, when people are like really, like they shake a little, like his head was sideways and he was shaking, looking up at me. I was like, okay, I'm not going to be able to solve
looking up at you.
I just said he's a little dude. He was a short dude. And I was like,
factually and structurally.
Factually, structurally smaller than me. That's correct.
I wonder, I've encountered people who are, just want to argue and I never understand that, or like fight too.
That's
And
true.
like, I'm a much larger person as well. I'm a larger person, and sometimes they kind of target me because I am large,
Right.
because I'm tall and I'm big, and
They want
they want to fight me.
they're like, here's a big dude.
And I'm like I'm a docile creature.
You're a non-fighter.
I'm a manatee, basically,
Right.
and I'm a land manatee. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. And it's happened to me a few times, and especially in bars,
Right.
it happened to me a few times. And so I have to do, what some people would call an ocular pat down, right? You assess the situation.
Oh yeah, that's what I was doing with this guy. Yeah, with my Nickelback friend.
Is this going? And I adjust based on that. And is this person somebody who wants to fight me? Is there a way that I can make them laugh? Is there a way that we can, settle
like, before you punch me, have you heard the one about the nun and the like, I also think, like, what was this guy like planning to achieve? Like, a little part of me wishes I had been like, Chris, guys, stop the show. This guy has solved all our problems. We're going to call everything off. We're going to rearrange everything, get a theater, call an AV production company. Our friend Canadian Jerry over here has fixed everything.
The perfect idea. We got to stop.
Like, what did he expect? It was not going to happen. That's not real.
That's not real. He just wants to argue.
Yeah.
He just wants. How many other people did he argue with that day?
Oh, I can't imagine. Like, that's the other thing. Like, when somebody like that comes to your booth and you're trying to sell, and he's taking time away from other customers that you could actually be having a sane conversation with. Right. Oh, it's maddening, man. There's a few of those guys at shows too.
Do you think that there are some folks who go, this is the way that you communicate? If I want to present myself as a person in society, that's the way that I communicate and show that I am actually doing a good job in this civilization, is that I can argue with people and point out the things that they're doing wrong.
Oh man, I wish I had asked them that point blank. Like, somewhere in the middle, just be like, "This is how you go through life? Like, have you made it? Have you made it this far in life by accosting random people in the middle of their literal jobs? Like, what are you doing, dude? Like,
but
stop
you don't
this.
But you would never. Because like, that catches me so off guard though. Sometimes, like I would never think to do those types of things, because I don't have the mindset to argue. I don't have the mindset to argue. But like, I would rather be
like
friends.
Imagine if you went to McDonald's and you were like, are you the non-decision maker here that has been hired to do a certain job? Yes, you are. Okay, perfect. You guys should change your logo and get a new menu. And like, I've already explained, I'm not the guy.
Anyway, apart from the factually and structurally smaller person who you encountered, sounds like a great weekend.
Here's the problem with life. Every country.
Oh, okay.
There was 99.9% of everything that was wonderful and normal. And what did we do? We spent the time on the two wackos that I found in the second largest country on earth. That's all I brought back to talk. That makes me insane. I hate that. Like, at work, it happens. Your C players take all your time, and your A players, they don't get any of your time. And then they leave and they go work for the competition. And that was a perfect microcosm of that.
That was it's just funny stuff.
I know, it was entertaining, but I feel like I have tarnished the reputation of the Canadians. Everybody was kind. It was really well, not everybody, but that dude. But the rest were really kind. It was good, and like, we would go back. Yeah, it was a really cool show.
So what is the greatest professional takeaway from the weekend for you? Like, why is it important for you as somebody in this industry to do that kind of thing?
Well, I think that would play into the whole like main topic of the show. Did you have one thing that you were going to get to, or are we just going to plow right into we on a roll here? We keeping up?
No, I think we're on a roll. I have things that are so off topic. You know, Chelsea's birthday. I did a lot of like celebrating over the weekend, so much so that it made me kind of sick, and it wasn't good. So we don't have to talk about that. I rewatched Goodfellas, which I realized is an hysterical movie. It's so funny.
It's so good, right?
And it's good. I don't like the way that it ends, but it's so funny. I was laughing through almost the entire movie. It's such a funny movie to me. It's hilarious. But we don't have to talk about that. That's I couldn't even decide on the one thing because my weekend was so scattered and crazy and celebrating Chelsea's birthday and everything. So that's fine. Let's what's up?
Sorry, I feel like obligated to take 20 seconds. You know, you and I, we've been at the show for quite a while now, Joe.
Yes.
And what people might not know, especially any new viewers, is that, you know, you and I are tight. We're good buddies.
Mm-hmm.
But me and Chelsea is probably one of the longest friends that I've known that I'm still friends with. And that is how you and I came to be buddies. So I don't want to, you know, give away a lady's age, so to speak. But I think September would be 30 years that me and Chelsea know each other.
Wow.
And that we've stayed good friends all this time. And 30 years. And you know what the secret is?
What?
We never dated. We didn't screw around that way. That's how we stay friends.
Well, there you go. That's good.
Yeah.
Good. And we can be friends then.
What?
I thought you were going to say if the secret is, you know, you has to pair up with somebody that you can be friends with as well.
Well, that doesn't hurt. Like I do. It would be weird if like I went to hang out with Chelsea and you really sucked, and I'm like, well, you know what? It's going to be hard to be friends, Chelsea, because this clown.
You know, it's funny. I do remember. Yeah, thanks. I'll let her know the well wishes.
Yeah.
From this week. It is there. It's funny that I do have like before I met you, I think I saw pictures of you, and
which in high school I looked way different. I had hair to about here.
I was gonna say I think in the next month or two, there's a documentary coming out called I wish I could remember the name, but it's about there was something called in the 90s. There was something called Lilith Fair.
The late 90s. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Lilith Fair. And it was a lot of, it was mostly women bands.
It was all women bands. Yeah,
it was all women bands. Sarah McLachlan and 10,000 Maniacs or Natalie Merchant.
Merchant. There you go.
And I think one of the first times I saw you was long ponytailed man, shirtless. At Lilith Fair.
I did attend the Lilith Fair with Chelsea. We did do that. Look, to this day, huge crush, Natalie Merchant. If we could ever get her on the show, that'd be fantastic. If anybody knows Natalie Merchant, I would appreciate it. It was a good show. And, you know, dude looking to hang out with a bunch of, 30,000 hippie chicks. Not a bad idea. Not a bad plan.
It's not a bad play.
Not a bad play. All right, man. I just got to tell you. So, yeah.
There is in pop culture something coming out called Anaconda that I've seen lately. It's a new movie about a snake adventure. Now, Anaconda is very different from what you guys
ball pythons,
deal with. Yeah, ball pythons. But does that kind of thing affect this industry?
Maybe. Joe requests a copy of that picture. Actually, maybe that'll be like our Christmas gift. It does exist out there. It's pretty fun, actually. It's If you surf,
here somewhere.
Yeah, if you were to surf my Facebook, it's actually on there somewhere too. Anyway, Joe, I got you. Joe's done a lot of favors for me. I'll show him the picture. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it provides like more memes than anything. Like the snakes on the plane thing. That weird movie. That was just it just gave us like fun memes. I don't think I don't really.
It doesn't make the incline of the hill that you all are trying to climb a little steeper.
I don't think so, because I don't know. I haven't seen how this is. This is the premise of the movie. Remember the old Anaconda movie that came out in the 90s? Sort of. I mean, it was kind of it wasn't
like Ice-T and Jennifer Lopez. I never saw it.
Okay,
but
all right.
Apparently
strong lineup.
Large,
yeah, okay.
Large snake terrorizing people. It's like Jaws, but snakes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the premise of the movie is that these two guys want to go to where that movie was filmed or where it supposedly took place and recreate the snake adventure.
Okay.
Because they love that movie so much. And what turns out is that there is actually a huge anaconda. It stars Jack Black and Paul Rudd.
Okay. All right. I don't think so. And I'll use an analogy. I don't think Harry Potter convinced people that flying brooms were going to be a problem.
We're going to be a problem. Okay.
Right? Now,
yeah. Okay.
There was a certain sect of people who said, oh, all this wizardry stuff is going to taint our kids and it's whatever.
Yeah.
And we all rolled our eyes at those people. Much like I don't think anybody believes that the anaconda is coming to eat them. And a few people might say that, and we're all going to roll our eyes at them.
Okay. Yes.
That's what I think. I could be wrong.
Yes. You're all going to roll your eyes at them, but I don't know. I'm curious about that stuff.
If it was a documentary about an anaconda eating people, that's one thing. Jack Black informing me on the dangers of anacondas is probably not, I'm guessing, is not going to cause much consternation, I don't think.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. So what were we talking about? Sorry.
We were talking about Canada, and you said, what professionally did I pick up?
Yeah.
And what was the takeaway or why would I go do that show kind of thing?
Right. Yeah. What's the greatest professional takeaway from that weekend? A few. There's opportunity around every corner. I can't quantify the value of community, but I heard something that I could try to quantify it with, but it was great. And like, it's all going to tie to good business too. If there's a gene that I'm interested in and somebody's hosted me at their home for dinner and they have it, I'm probably going to give them first dibs on it. So yes, the camaraderie was good, but it also made for really good business opportunities for those folks, and maybe a good business opportunity for me. But I did like that there seemed to be, I don't want to quantify all Canadians in one specific way, but there did seem to be a longer understanding of longer patience required just in business in general. There didn't seem to be this, I have to make this today or this is going to be a failure. Now, I myself would still want to consider costs, hopefully recoup something. I think both things can be true, that I can build my brand and be looking long-term and still want to do well today. But there was this really like strong notion of patience and long-term. We were interviewing people that had done, hit certain milestones 10, 12, 15 years ago. And they were like, yeah, I probably missed out on 2 years because I wasn't sure how this was working. So I'm still at this. And I'm like, that's really actually like pretty sane. Like if we think about how most businesses go, and then I think of like, I hear a ton about, you could do this in, Bitcoin or whatever and get rich, or you could do this and you could get rich, and you could do this and you could get rich, or right.
And actually I have other people like kind of set me straight where I'm like, man, I got to get things going at the car wash. It's not moving fast enough. And people are like, dude, in 9 months, you built a facility, like mostly literally with your hands. You've expanded, you've grown, and you've taken on another business. You've rebranded it. Like, give yourself a break. And I'm like, no, this should be doing this now. And there's this there's a stand-up comedian, Ronnie Chang, and he's a Chinese guy. And he's like, Americans want Prime now, Prime everything. I blame Amazon. Prime everything. We used to be fine with 3 days in the mail. No, it won't stand anymore. We got to have it now. And
that's a great special, Ronnie Chang special.
It's fantastic.
It's really, really funny.
If you like angry, frustrated people, as Joe apparently does, since he likes to try and rile me up, man, that one is really fantastic. It's great. But I think, and I wouldn't. You talked earlier about hard work. Like, does it have to be like brutal? No. And I'm not encouraging that anybody should have to have brutality or whatever. But I think that we as Americans, we've had a really, really good stretch of economics. Like, our last sort of like big economic struggle was 2009, the Great Recession.
Mm-hmm.
That was 16 years ago. So if you've experienced that as a business owner or as an adult with responsibilities, wondering how you're going to pay your mortgage, you're probably 35, 37 or older. There's a ton of people that are younger than 35 or 37 that have never gone through an American downturn and might not know how to handle that. And we seem on the precipice. Now, we've seemed on the precipice of one, admittedly, for 4 years. We've heard of this soft landing. We've heard the recession's coming. We've heard that the world is falling, and it just doesn't. So that's pretty good. But I think Canadian economics are a little bit different. They're in an incredibly inflationary time right now. The Canadian dollar is pretty weak. And they are they were pretty level-headed about, well, it's a long-term outlook, and today, this moment isn't going to define or make or break anything, really. And it was a little longer, stoic, grounded outlook. That was kind of a neat thing to experience.
Yeah. So do you think that's a Canadian American thing?
I think in general, and again, I wouldn't trade it for anything, but I think in general, Americans, we take some things for granted, and the strength of our economy being one of them, even when it's not always strong to our standards. I think we infight really, really. Americans are really good at infighting, and we're seeing that at an incredibly high level right now. But it's still incredible opportunities in the world. We are still the best set of incredible opportunities in the world. And we like to panic, and we like to freak out, and we like to make posts about how it's the end of the world. And it's not. And I think that's distracting stuff that takes away from all sorts of society, but let's just keep it business. Like, you could be building your brand instead of freaking out or picking fights,
Yeah, right.
So I like that stuff. So this idea of patience, which we know ball pythons teach us patience, but it was personified pretty well there. And there was a guy, Antoine. I can't remember his last name. Gentleman from Quebec, and I've worked with him before. DPR Cold Blood is the name of his brand, and he's just got exquisite animals, and most breeders know him. He's internationally recognized as a really top-notch breeder. And I don't know, Chris could help me out, or somebody could help me out. Antoine's probably, 24 to 28 on the high end. Maybe he's younger. I don't think he's older, but anyway, young, insightful guy with a ton of experience already in his life in snake breeding. And we were interviewing him, and he said a few words, which I really liked, which the first ones were, I was reading this book about, and I was like, my man, you're learning. Good. People that like mentally retire, you're going to become a dinosaur and go extinct right away. So he hasn't mentally retired. He's got these I don't know if that's Perry or Karen, but good morning, soda balls. Yeah, he's his two genes are gorilla and cantaloupe. And anyway, he says to me, I've been reading this book, and it's about this concept he called weak ties. And he has a French accent. So I said, did you say weak ties? And he said, yeah. So what's that about? And he said, if you have an opportunity to meet and connect with as many people as you can, you don't have to be best friends with people, but if you can maintain a weak tie, there might be an opportunity 2, 4, 5, 8 years down the road that you'll be able to cultivate, and not even in a transactional way, like actually maintain essentially a weak relationship with. And the word weak always sounds really negative in our world.
Yeah,
This way, it sounds very appropriate. And it reminded me of just the ball python world in general. I talk about all the time. We're all experts at something else. So these weak ties, there's a banker in Iowa that's a snake breeder. He helped me. I knew him, not great. I still know him. I still keep up with him. Helped me with the mortgage, to figuring out how to finance things.
Right, yeah,
sweet.
Yeah.
I had a refrigerator crash one time. Called up a good buddy, Byron, in down in Tampa, Florida. He's a Maytag guy. You call up the Maytag guy. He helps me out. And all this sounds like this is like me lining up people that I could take things from. It's not that. In a similar fashion, Chris and I know each other. Chris calls me. He goes, hey, we never met, but I think this would be a good opportunity. You want to try it? There we go. So that mindset of cultivating weak ties, and this aha moment came like this audience here. We don't really know everybody, but we see Jimbo every week. We see Troy every week. We see Elias every week. We see, we're building some weak ties where, a perfect example. You needed a hype video for Aiden's kicking.
Oh,
I think
Which
you got
pointed. I'm cultivating videos for, by the way, Chris, if you're still on.
Yeah, I think so these opportunities can come to do good business that way. And I just liked the idea of, if you're in a big crowd of people doing what you do or what you want to do successfully, you should make as many ties as possible within that big crowd.
Yeah. Weak ties. So you texted me yesterday. We had like a little back and forth, and you mentioned,
we call it show prep, Joe. Not could you help me out here? We don't do a little back and forth.
We do show prep.
We show prep. Yeah, thank you. There we go. We're professionals here.
You mentioned this weak ties, and I was like, weak ties? That sounds that sounds bad. Like, you shouldn't. Every tie should be strong, but this keeping in touch with people that you meet, and then that coming to a certain point where, hey, you reach out to this person, and so the stakes are really low. The stakes are really low for that kind of thing. You have to, maybe show up, or give a like on social media, or give a comment or something like that, to keep like the presence available there. And then you're cultivating a network. You have a larger network of people where you can go, and the stakes for asking a favor are very low too. I mean, it's not like if you go, oh yeah, that person, and you'd reach out for that person about your refrigerator, and they go, I can't help you out. So that's no big deal. It's not a big deal, but you still have that person there to go, all right, well, maybe they can help me. So I think that's a great philosophy to have. Now, I think it's important then that you keep up, and you're active with your network then.
Right.
I mean, that would be something like cultivate a large network, and then remain active with people. It kind of harkens back to our conversation though last week about like, what's a genuine relationship, and what's not, what is just like a business relationship. So it kind of reminds me of that. But what you're saying is, when you heard this, you were like, well, I'm actually already doing that. You kind of have already done that kind of thing, Adam, right?
But it kind of quantified because usually I love the expression, it doesn't fit on a spreadsheet. That means that mathematically there's not really an explanation for this.
Okay. Yeah.
And those are soft skills, and we I think most of us understand that. But I could never sort of like put it into good words. And to be clear, it should be a two-way street. The guy that helped me with the mortgage, his bank and he gets his business.
Yeah.
Probably, so it actually probably way more in the long run, actually, by definition of how loans work, way more money is going to flow his way than my way. Right.
Right. Yeah,
so it wasn't just, Adam found some way to take advantage of something. No, it was a good two-way street. Chris called me. Yeah, I got a great opportunity. Chris got a co-host. Hopefully that was a good two-way street. So it's not just, this transactional thing of like a Rolodex of, who could I take advantage of potentially one day? That's not the case. It's again, you nailed it, maintaining this network, and they could be weak ties. And I think that's something that social media does really, really, really well, man.
Yeah. I wonder, I mean, do you think that kind of thing is the norm in the industry? Or do you think that there are some people who are, most people are, they're not trying to cultivate that type of thing?
I think in any industry, in any social setting, there's people that are naturally better at it. Mm-hmm. And I think there's people that are naturally reclusive. And I know most people don't believe this about me, but in a public setting, like, it's really overwhelming for me. Like I'm sure people are like, well, why in the world would you have a podcast? Well, this isn't a public setting. I'm alone in my basement talking one-on-one with somebody versus some dude walking up to me speaking in Nickelback lyrics. Like, the world's a weird place, and I can't prepare for all of it. And that feels overwhelming. So there's people that are naturally inclined to certain things. I don't think most people in their mind say, the goal or the focus for this event should be, along with sales, 15 new weak ties.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
But that would be a really smart outlook and a smart goal, because you, would focus on today's sales, but you would be cultivating future possibilities that you don't know yet.
I'm kind of stuck on something that was mentioned a little bit earlier. And
by the way, I haven't read this book. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it veers off a little bit from the conversation. But what's gorilla and cantaloupe? Can you just?
Those. So we have this culture in ball pythons that starts in science and ends up in gorilla and cantaloupe. The science is there are genetic mutations that can be isolated and identified, and when we do that, I say when that is done successfully and proven through breeding, and that it is a genetic trait and it is recessive or dominant, that person then is allowed to name that gene. And Antoine chose respectively gorilla and cantaloupe to name these two genes.
Okay. And are they dominant genes? Are they recessive? Or am I using those phrases in the wrong way?
No, you're using the phrases right. I believe they're dominants, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay. I believe they're both dominant traits.
So they're you can actually describe the appearance of those two types of genes
with one copy. I believe so. I'm not that familiar with them, but I believe so.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
And whoever's typing furiously to clarify incomplete or complete dominance, just spare me. Okay. I get it. I know. For ease of consumption, we all understand the philosophy of a dominant or a recessive trait.
And we've talked about weak ties. You're talking to a weak brain. So I
thought you meant the people I was lecturing about their typing.
No, me. I have to slowly digest these things over time. I mean, it's been 2 years, and I still had to ask whether or not I was saying things the right way.
Joe, don't let anybody ever tell you different. It's 0 traits or 0 copies, 1 copy, or 2 copies. All the other stupid words we put on things is just gibberish and egos fighting each other.
Oh, now you're wading into some waters here.
There you
Maybe
go.
you're the type of guy who likes to start arguments. You ever think of that, Adam? Why don't you think of that?
I'm solving problems and simplifying, brother. Boil things down to their simplest point. There it is.
So here's what I'm gonna.
Yeah, see, we know what we're talking. This is a real thing. Like, there's going to be 4 people in the comments, and they're like, actually, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to bring this. I'm going to bring you this thing to kind of a. I'm going to bring these two things together, right? Yeah. So you started off by talking about recognizing the importance of patience. Right? So recognizing the importance
they do go
of
together.
Patience, and what is the connection to creating weak ties is that if that relationship does not produce for your business right away, stick with it, because in some way, and maybe in the future it will. So if you cultivate a network, hang on to that network and keep going with it, and keep being involved in those connections in little tiny ways that shows that person that you're still present and you're still available and that you still want to have a relationship, and be patient with those relationships. Is that the connection that you made in your mind with these two kind of disparate topics?
Yes, that was exactly it, because a fruitful network takes a long time to cultivate, and it takes ongoing cultivation. What's up?
So in the same way, where you're like, I should be much farther along with my car wash. And why don't I just recognize how far I have come and just keep plugging away, be patient with myself, be patient with the work that needs to be done. In the same way, where those things are really concrete steps that you need to take, and you can look back and go, I've made all of these steps. It's incredible. In the same way, to be patient with the things that are not so concrete, not so quantifiable, to be patient with the things that you believe are really important, which is creating relationships and keeping up with those relationships, because someday those things are going to come to fruition, and they already have. Look back at you had numerous examples where you can look back over your 5-year venture into this whole thing, where because you made some kind of connection, because you made some, and because you kept in touch, you could reach out and ask somebody, hey, can you help me out with this?
Yeah. And what I will say too is, to people that this sounds overwhelming to, you just have to start, and it gets easier. So you brought up the car wash. I'm actually trying to do this with the car wash. I am daily. It's hard to make daily content of the car wash. Like, how many cars can I show being sprayed down or the logo over and over again? Right. I have a pretty limited set of things that I offer at the car wash. However, the focus is hometown. And so I've been sharing other local businesses' stories, and I'm sure they're going, who is this maniac? Or like the local, like, who is this maniac at the car wash, and why is he sharing my picture of a margarita? And some of them ignore me, and others say, thanks. And then I can respond and go, I hope to meet you sometime. And they go, who are you? And I go, well, I'm the guy that owns the car wash, and I'm just grinding out a little car wash business over here. And these conversations start. And what's going to happen is, one of these people I'm going to make a stronger weak tie with, and they're going to tell somebody, that's an all right guy. He shares my pictures of margaritas, but he's a car wash guy. I don't know why he's advertising my margaritas, but he is. Okay. Yeah. And the other guy goes, well, maybe he'll advertise my pork chop, or whatever it is. And
yes,
it's
from the pork chop dealer down the street. Yes,
right. You got to go see. Yeah. And it snowballs, and it gets bigger. And so Antoine and I had worked together on an episode of Proper Royals Live, it's very easy for me to walk up, shake his hand, and him go, "Oh man, it's so good to meet you." And I'm sure 3 people went, "Who is Antoine excited to meet?" And then that makes it easier for me to meet those 3 people that I don't know anything about. You see?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So, and you're, I think of those like the network that I've built over the past few years being in accounting and just going out to these networking events. I hate them. It's terrible.
They suck,
And
don't
then,
they? But then they're good.
But then you connect with somebody and you sit with them for a little bit, and it's incredible how, it could be years later, and I go,
Right.
"Hey, that was a good conversation I had with that guy, and he does this thing that I need help with right now. Let me reach out to him, see what's up, and maybe he can. If it's not him, maybe he can refer me to somebody else."
Right.
And how many times that takes place just by going to those stupid networking events, like it actually really does work.
They do and you don't know in the moment, and that sort of goes back to the prime now mentality. Like, I went to this networking thing and I'm not rich.
Right.
What good did it do me? Yeah, well, that's not how it works. It doesn't work that way.
Like, here's the other thing too. I go to those networking events. I do present as uncomfortable, and I find somebody as equally uncomfortable there.
Right.
And so we talk about like, "Oh, this is really uncomfortable. I'm not really that good at this." And then that we stay connected and we talk about we have business that happens later, and like 2 years later.
If you get out there in the world, you will find your people, and it'll, there's going to be an angry Canadian that yells at you along the way, and another one that talks in Nickelback. But
I like this. I like this. I like that. I like the idea of weak ties, although I wish there was some other term for it.
Well, I you know what? I got to Google it and find the book. Maybe, and it could have. This is genuine that English is Antoine's second language. There could be a sexier name that he translated incorrectly.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think so. He speaks quite fluently. I think weak ties is exactly what it is. But
okay.
But I'm going to look into it.
And the idea of patience, being patient. Like I am, there is a certain fear to what I am doing right now, and that I of course need to make a certain income to maintain my lifestyle, my lavish lifestyle.
It's hard to be patient if you're homeless, and I'm not even. That's not a joke. That is it's right. Yeah. Okay, so there's a couple levels there, right?
But it is, it's investing in yourself and being patient in that investment and allowing that investment to grow.
We would call it diligence as well. I think that ties in there. That was one key word I forgot to mention today.
Okay, good. Yeah. Just tack that on to the end, diligence.
That's what it is. Speaking of tacking things onto the end, my apologies. No, but seriously, like
I was gonna say.
I know. Check out Keeper Kane's YouTube channel. He's a great supporter, and he's a good ball python breeder. He's got big snakes, tarantulas, aquariums, all of that. Family friendly viewing. You can always rely on that from Kane. Check this out. Little boom. Watch it. Focuses slowly. Come into focus. Boom, Cold-Blooded Cafe. You like that move, huh? There you go. Yeah, Proper 11 is going to get you free shipping on orders of over $200. I just posted a reel of an unpacking and how fresh and clean those rodents are. And then Husbandry Pro, speaking of fantastic Canadian connections, that one look at all the logos right there. Support all these folks. They support us. They bring this content to you ad-free so that you can hear about our worldwide weak ties and shenanigans. And then Palm Street. You could check out Palm Street. Learn about it. I put out a bunch of information about Palm Street. More's coming. There we go. Take care of the advertisers. They do look out for us.
Yeah, and the people behind those companies as well.
That's
good
true.
People.
They are good people.
Let's support the people that we want to see flourish in this industry, for sure.
I'm proud to say I don't advertise for anybody that I wouldn't do business with otherwise. Like that's the first litmus test. That's where it passes the yes please or the no thank you. And Gerald, if you Joe, if you happen to find a situation, Gerald, thanks for the hospitality, man. It was a great welcome. If you happen to find yourself in a situation where you had to park your trailer, say 1.5 miles across the biggest expo convention center parking lot that you've ever seen, and it's a little challenging to get over there, Gerald will just grab it and bring it. He's built that way and given the God-given beautiful characteristics of the strength of a gorilla. The old 100 men or one gorilla. You could play 100 men or Gerald, and it would be a strong debate of who would win that, man. He's
factually and structurally larger than you.
Huge. Hands like a catcher's mitt, these this it's really dumb. I can't even say this out. This is a real thing. Like those slap fighting leagues that exist now, as they call it MMA. Man, that's what Gerald needs to get in. Now, I don't know if he's willing to be slapped, but let me tell you, if he hits you, you're gonna feel it, man. That's all I'm saying.
All right, Gerald.
He's a great guy. He's not I didn't see him hit not one person. And if there was somebody, give a little poke every now and again just to see, he's good. Thank you, Gerald, for the truly the great hospitality. My best to you, Crystal. Thanks
everybody really for cool. This morning. It was a great time. Always great to wake up with you guys on a Thursday morning. Fantastic. Thanks so much, Adam. You're the man. For those of y'all joining new, we do this every week. Thanks. The metrics were up. Maybe that was a little benefit. Some new weak ties. They're like, what are these silly Americans doing at 6:30 Central Time in the morning on Thursdays? Well, now you know. Thanks, everybody.